Well, there's no way around it. This video is your fault. Hello everyone, Bront, CatHerder here. We're having some fun talking Raid Shadow Legends. We are here on the free-to-play account because we are here to talk about Sanguine Maria. I built her because I put up a vote for should I build her or should I build Rhodos. So I managed to max her out, get her fully booked. She is ready to go, and we're going to explore her a little bit on this account, ways that I could certainly be using her, where I've been using her, and try her out a little bit in Arena with this account to see how well she does. Now, I've done a deep guide, and if you want to check that guide out, you can check that out. I'll have a link to that up above, and that goes on my main, and I do compare her to Rhodos on my main. Obviously, I have not had a chance to compare her to Rhodos on my free-to-play yet because I haven't finished building Rhodos on my free-to-play yet, and honestly, I have so much limited gear, I'd struggle to build the two of them at the same time. But that's where this account is versus my main, which is why I did the guide on my main. But she is an interesting and great champion. We're not really going to go over her kit too much because, you know, I think you guys know it from now. But let's talk about what kind of an impact she has made on my free-to-play account. So, as you can see, I have built her with as much attack as I could reasonably get on her. Very good speed, good crit damage. I don't have all of her stuff ascended yet because I tend not to have a ton of stuff ascended on this particular account. And I don't have a blessing yet for her. I do have a 1-star blessing. I just have not put it on yet because I wanted to make this video to talk about her before I actually put that on. Now, if I were to put on something for her, I probably, with this particular account, would go Soul Root just because I think that that's going to help her kill a couple of people and be very helpful. You could maybe argue that Lightning Cage would be good to keep some buffs on if she's going to worry about that. She does have a good aura, so Intimidating Presence is an interesting option, but I don't like that on her particular type of aura. Otherwise, you know, Soul Reap, Sheep is certainly an option, but without a lot of accuracy, it doesn't make sense. Brimstone doesn't make a lot of sense for her either. So yeah, for the most part, it is probably going to be either something like Phantom Touch to just add a little extra damage consistently, or Soul Reap to basically let her constantly kill people in the game. Now we have everything here booked up and ready to go. I've got her in Savage, as well as a couple of pinpoint pieces here for the bonus speed. I do happen to have one Feral Gear, but that is literally just because this is a good... show me. This is a good crit damage amulet right here, and I've got attack ascension on there, so I could get another 32 more crit damage on her with ascensions to this right stuff here. But for the most part, it's just this is the gear I've got. I'd certainly like a 6-star set of Savage, but I went for high speed on her, and honestly, it looks like I'm not even done glyphing her up yet because I have not glyphed up. This banner, by the way, is pretty amazing, so let's glyph this up while we're talking here. Look at that, 3%, not too bad. Can I get at least a +3 there? +2, we'll live with that. So I certainly could glyph more stuff up for her as well. That HP and stuff is good, but I'm going to save that for a little while. But we get a little bit of extra stats here. So hey, we're now almost at 4,700. Got a little more speed here as well. Looking good overall. I've got the Malefic Talon on her. I certainly could go with a Cat's Gaze, would not be a bad option for her, but she does ignore up to 99% defense anyway, and she's in Savage, so I don't necessarily need that much additional ignore defense on her, especially with Helm Smasher on her as well as far as the masteries are concerned. And we've already talked about the blessing and why I don't have one on her. So let's take her out a little bit, do a little bit of damage with her, just to kind of show you what kind of damage we're dealing with on this particular account. And then we're going to go take her into Arena and show her where I've been using her otherwise. All right, so as you know, I like to do a lot of my testing on Doom Tower Floor 1. Now, it's not always as relatable because things do change on here. Sometimes I have affinity problems, but I happen to like this one, and particularly on my free to play, I don't have a ton of energy, so I don't want to be constantly going into Dragon, resetting, and having to redo things from there, especially when I'm doing damage testing. So that's why I don't do it on Dragon. We do it on floor 1 of hard because I know I can clear floor 1, so it will always be clear, so it's always going to be something I can use. And the stats are going to be similar on the champions, even between the rotations, even if they are different affinities or different champions to some extent. So let's get in here and start this one. I've got her in the lead because I want to give her the best chance to just kind of do some extra damage here. We've got Arbiter for the increased attack as well. We're going to do the decreased defense and weaken here as well. And then we are going to start off and we're going to do the A3. Now keep in mind, she actually has 3 buffs on her as well. So she is going to get an extra turn automatically from this. She's not going to have the removes buffs from enemies. There's no buffs to remove anyway, so that is not a problem. So we're just going to take this A3 and go for a Necro Hunter. And hey, she did 100k damage, got herself an extra turn. Not too bad. We could certainly go here and then hit the A1, and that's going to be a triple hitter as well. And there you go. She's doing about 25 to 30k damage on that A1. Got an extra turn. Absolutely amazing. Certainly could try to nuke here. This is not going to be a fair nuke because this is now turn 3 for this. So this is going to ignore damage, but we could weak hit. So did not weak hit, did a ton of damage. Let's go test the damage on that A2 again. So that A2, not on her third turn, will go, yeah, we'll hit you. It's Steel Skull as well, just to make sure we don't do a weak hit. So yeah, so she did 192 with just the ignore, 33% damage, 250 with the ignore, 99%, which effectively is 100% because of everything else she has. So yeah, so she gets a good 25% more damage on every third turn with that particular ability. Absolutely amazing. Very, very big nuke. Let's go nuke a Necro Hunter quickly with that A2 for consistency. And magically we have that off of cooldown, and here we go. Necro Hunter 163,000. So yeah, good damage. Her A2 is the big nuke, and that makes some sense because that's the one that can possibly ignore some Stone Skin. But the triple hitter and the ability to take extra turns, especially if you have her on the right team, makes her an interesting proposition to use in Arena and honestly in other areas of the game as well. So one of the places I have found I have loved using her has been in Centranos. And honestly, a lot of it is because I just am missing champions, so it's nice to have additional champions to use in Centranos in general. But on top of that, I've actually found that for PvE content, she's absolutely still totally busted, particularly for wave clear. And a lot of it resolves around the fact that this ability right here can AoE with champions that are less than 66% HP. So when she is not the only person on the team, eventually you get other champions. She ends up with an extra AoE that does single target damage to those other champions as well. And since this smacks, well, it smacks everywhere else as well and is absolutely amazing. Plus, you know, she occasionally will revive herself. So if I'm against floors where people could be revived, if she has died, well, she'll come back and I've got a chance to get her back. She puts 2 fears up. She gives me some extra survivability options for some of these revival floors where I might not necessarily have them otherwise. So she's been a lot of fun to use in Centranos to add extra damage on an account where I have a limited number of champions and limited resources. So she right here on this particular floor did a great job paired up with Durandil. She was the main damage dealer. And of course we get some extra burns and some other ways to do damage as well. And honestly, she mixes very well with a Hex champion because she's doing almost entirely single target damage. Even that extra damage that does to other people that are below whatever, that's still a single target attack. And that all adds up with Hex, spreading that extra 10% damage. So it stacks up with Mithrala very, very well. So I do want to be honest, I have not been using her in PvP as much. And a lot of that revolves around the fact that I just got the turtle team too. So I've been using the turtles a little more often. I'm still playing with my Empress. So I have not been using her too much in Arena, but that said, I did actually build a team out to try a couple things here. For specifically, this is a good example of something you can use her for here. So I built a team here to try to leverage her. And this is a pretty solid team to try to leverage her over. We've got the Monkey King here with UDK. Because she has the multiple hits, she's got opportunities to possibly hit around and get rid of the Monkey King right here. Unfortunately, she is a bad affinity for the Monkey King as well, so we might actually want to, for example, swap her out for another champion as well that can possibly hit around UDK. But we're going to try this team and see what happens, see if we can lock everybody out and start on there. We are going to manual with her because honestly, she is a champion that manuals better than a lot of other champions. So do keep that in mind. Get that speed stuff ready here. Lock everybody out. That is great. So she is not ready to hit through Stone Skin, which is fine. She would technically hit UDK, but if I want to possibly get around UDK, let's go and hit you 2 more times. And unfortunately, not a ton of damage, but we got an extra turn. Always appreciated. So this is turn 2. We're going to see if we can farm an extra turn here as well. Now, hey, we managed to get that extra turn. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to necessarily kill her with this particular ability, but what we can do is hit UDK, and we get, what's his name here as well, Elegias or whatever that guy's name was. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. And look at that. We got some AoEs here for some damage. Monkey King doing kind of okay as well. And we got a bunch of extra turns with her, which is why, honestly, I should be using her just a little more often. But really, she is a champion that needs to be manual. She also had some damage reduction there. So you saw the monkey couldn't quite do all the damage he needed to do to get rid of her. So that's fine. Just get some damage reduction as well. Really need to get through this stone skin. So just going to have to wait around until she gets another turn when she could be able to ignore stone skin. So this ability is not going to ignore stone skin yet. This is on turn 4 for her. So we're just going to kind of walk on you and see if she can get an extra turn. She did. Turn 5. Let's see if we can get an extra turn. There's the extra turn proc. All right, let's end Syl. Boom. There we go. At this point in time, this is on auto. Again, really, really useful champion. This is certainly not the most powerful team I could be facing with her, but especially on a speed team as the single damage dealer, she can just absolutely wreck the opponents, and is honestly somebody I should be using more on this account as a damage dealer because she can do that single target damage. Now, one of the things I actually want to try to do, and I don't know if this is going to work, so we can see how poorly this is going to work or not going to work, is I want to try her against the turtles. And there's a couple of things that are really good against the turtles here. One of them is petrification, because if you can petrify the champions, they lose all their buffs, and Leonardo can't counterattack if he's petrified, for example. Any sort of controls are great against Leonardo. Other things that can work are bombs. I have actually found that Mithrala can actually counter the turtles fairly well because they are constantly ally attacking, and then they're constantly basically petrifying themselves, which is horrifying to see. So yeah, Mithrala could be an interesting counter to the turtles as well, but we're going to try Fabian here, and we're going to go with Sanguine Maria because of that triple hitter and the fact that she can proc multiple turns. I'm going to see if we can figure out a way to possibly down Leo before he gets a chance to do his big nuke, and maybe get around Donatello's passive while we're at it as well. So no turtles in Stone Skin, so that's already a good sign for starters. Do the turn meter decrease as well. We are also going to lock people out with fear. And if we can, okay, we did not get the extra turn because of that. That is fine. So the next trick is to figure out a way to kill Leonardo without triggering his passive. So we are going to try to triple hit and see if we can do enough damage. We did not, and we triggered it, and we died. So hey, not the perfect strategy. You're not going to win every fight anyway. Sometimes it's nice to just try something different and see if you can get it to work. All right, so we're going to run this fight back again, and we are going to try to deal with getting Fabian to petrify Leonardo and see if that is going to actually help us. I just need to make sure that I actually remember to use his A2, not his A3, and then we can lock everybody out. So A2, let's lock out Leonardo. We did. They get some passes with the fears, but look at that. Now Fabian is going to be able to keep these folks locked out. That is going to be absolutely amazing and should help keep us alive. Now we can play around with Sanguine Maria doing Sanguine Maria stuff. So first of all, I want her to, let's just hit this A3 and see if we can get an extra turn. We can get an extra turn. That's amazing. Let's hit here and do some Donatello damage. Not quite enough. She's not really downing Donatello, but not in bad shape right now. Let's slow you down as well because I think that is a problem. Let's now lock out the turtles. And we couldn't lock out because we lost lockout on Leonardo. So, hey, it's not going to work. We tried. But again, if you can lock out Leonardo, there are ways to get around the turtles. But Leonardo is just really, really tough with the other turtles. We'll bring her to one more team here as well. This is, again, a team I should, if I can outspeed them, which I think I should be able to, just knowing my teams in general, I should be able to lock everybody out. And let's see if that works. And if not, well, then this could be a very, very short arena fight. Oh, we got everyone locked out. Then we can additionally lock everyone out here. Let's see if we can strip all these buffs. That would be great. Got most of the lockouts. We did not strip all of the buffs, but that is fine. Let's go and just deal with killing you. That is good. They resisted that buff there because that was not the third turn, so that makes some sense. And again, this is not an ideal team for Maria because I need to buff her some more, which is another reason that we are struggling a little bit using Maria on this particular account. But we're getting extra fears out here as well. Let's see if we can lock you out. Perfect, we locked you out. And from here, Sanguine Maria should be enough of a damage dealer to make sure that we get all the turns we need to and kill everybody we want to. So let's just kill you. And here we go. Fabian doing some extra damage here as well. Again, not a particularly tanky team, but Sanguine Maria doing some pretty solid damage on this account as well. I'm pretty happy to have her. Is she my best nuker on this account? No, she's not my best nuker on this account, but she's another nuking tool that I have that I can use and leverage to make my account better. And that's why it's nice to have champions like Maria on the account and to keep on doing these fusions. So there we go. That is Sanguine Maria on the free-to-play account. That is places that I like to use her. That is places that I've focused on using her. Obviously, she is in my Faction Wars team. On my Faction Wars team, she actually cut down the time for me to run 21 by an incredible amount. I think she shaved 6 minutes off the full auto time for that. Brought it down from 9 minutes to about 3.5 minutes. It's still not perfect. That Maria build certainly could be better, and a lot of that is just based on the fact that this account could be better because it's a early-ish game free-to-play account. So there's only so many resources I have. But I don't regret going for her. I don't regret building her. And I'm certainly excited to use her. And honestly, just this showcase has showed me I need to focus on using her just a little bit more because there's so many things that she can do that might be more helpful to me than I realized. So hopefully you found this, guys, kind of helpful, found this kind of interesting to focus on what I'm using with this other fusion champion. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. Let me know what you think of Sanguine Maria. Let me know what you think of some of the other recent fusion champions, if you think some of them are underrated or overrated, or you'd like to see how I use some of those other fusion champions on my free-to-play. I would love to make more of these Where Are These Fusions Now videos on my account. That'd be kind of fun. And, you know, I appreciate you guys giving me all the support, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and being here watching these videos to the end. You guys are absolutely amazing. Much love, and until the next video, I am Bront, CatHerder.